Hey everyone. Okay, so actually had an interesting. It was interesting when I stopped recording last time because I went on to do a couple of just search a couple of places and I actually got personnel protection come up. I'm like, here we go again. So I went and got the seize ability equipment and everything because I can. If I recall, I can do the stronger enemies now, and it's I got the Caesar Accelerator going, went in there. It was the mail room, which I suppose was technically easier, but anyway, so I went in there and I just went all hellbent. I actually just started looking for soldiers, and it looks like now I don't know whether this is just. I think it might depend because I was actually able to control more than three or four. I was actually able to control like five or six people. However, I think what the secret actually is that and I was fine because I actually managed to do it. I actually did almost like, well, I shouldn't say a clean sweep, but because there was about two or three brutes that I managed to get control of, and that kind of swung things massively in my favor. Oh, I actually control one of those healing spheres as well, so that was quite nice. Actually, that helped my soldiers. So I just kind of went hellbent with a shotgun, so that was interesting. So. But yeah, I went through that section, and I know I had to control at least two other like do the regular, well, the foot mobiles and everything, and I had at least two brute types, the really stronger enemies and all that, and I think I had a flying enemy at one point. I can't quite recall, but I must have at least five, and yeah, it was almost enjoyable. It seemed to last forever though, but I was certainly doing a clean sweep. So that was well, it felt like a wow, blah, 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 blah. Words. It felt like a clean sweep the way that with the amount of people I had on my side, it leveled the playing field very very nicely. Although to be fair. There was two things. I made sure I went and took care of the enemies because there were like enemies from a couple of sides. But the one factor I found was very useful. And this is something I mentioned last time, is that with these enemies, if there's flying enemies, they can only come from one side to make it just more balanced out. And it did. And what I did was, if I knew I couldn't get to the enemies in time, I actually slammed myself into them so it exploded on me. And I took the damage, and my allies didn't. And that actually did help quite a bit, actually. So I might, if I need to, I might try those tactics. But yeah. Now, excuse me. Yes, we're going to go talk to Dylan, but I'd like to collect these two missions first. Because, well, frankly, I think that I'm just a little worried that I've played too many games where if you like some side, when you go between main missions, you have side objectives, and if you don't complete the side objectives by the time you get into the next series of main missions, those side objectives actually they disappear. Well, for that exact reason, I'm going to talk.
Did she have to write everything in her made-up gibberish code? Fucking Marshall with her CIA spy shit.
Well, she is former CIA Irish. What the hell did you expect? That's so space to them.
I don't think I ever told you this, but I was actually on the path to being a ranger once.
Really?
Did the whole boot camp thing. Even got rookie status.
Oh, nice.
Anyway, not the point. My old ranger squad was a great bunch. There was 6 plus me. Remus, Hazard, Cho, Guy, Hepton, Stoll, and Thompson. They were supposed to get back from an expedition yesterday. We had beers and wings planned.
Oh, yeah.
Problem is, they weren't here when Darling handed out the HRAs.
Oh.
And they had nothing protecting them from the hiss.
You see, they prepped for the worst, but I think that we're already past that. We all wore these pouches around our neck, and I really don't want the hiss to get them. Could you find them for me?
Sure, of
The
course.
squad would have come back through maintenance, but they probably spread out from there.
I'll keep an eye out for them, Arish. And I won't let them stay hiss.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah. I'm sure I have to get to. I just actually worked out what one of the rooms is for. Remember that room I keep on going? If you've been watching this, keep on this playthrough, you'll probably notice that once, a couple of times I've been into a random room and in this executive sector, and I'm like, what's the point of this room? Like, there's literally nothing in here. I've just realized, and I realized when I was actually doing the personnel thing, it dawned on me, oh, that's where they're probably keeping Dylan in some sort of quarantine thing. So that kind of makes sense. That actually makes a lot of sense.
I have to go.
Me too. You're not the only one who's busy, you know.
No kidding. I absolutely believe you.
Remember, we got...
Okay. Give me a second. What? Damage 35. Ooh, that's interesting. That 33? You know what? I'll take the 35, sure. What? Hey, a couple of percent can't help. Can't hurt. Sorry. What's this one? I haven't. I actually haven't. I literally did the mission. Got a couple of things. Well, when I say I didn't loot things, but I was just looking around for a couple of things. I didn't find them, and I kept on killing enemies in the process. So I've just been collecting things. So I hadn't had a chance to actually do a bit of micromanagement. So apologies for that one. What was the? Oh no, it was 18, right. What was... Yes, I know. Yes, we're gonna talk. God, we've got plenty to keep us busy. Absolutely plenty. Actually, I found one of those things, but I'm not gonna. But it was in the I found them in funnily enough, I think there might be moving letters, or what I believe might be in dead letters. So yeah, and it looks like we can go above this, so we've got plenty to explore. But
this.
I just want to quickly do this. Oh, yeah, I've got the abilities, don't we? Oh god, yeah, that's what I got from doing this. I found out with personal protection. Not that attributed to it, but it was just like it dawned on me. Oh, I've got ability points to spend, so that was kind of nice. So, siege duration. Look at levitation. Hmm. Hmm. I mean, it wouldn't be the worst thing. The launch damage would be kind of nice. Energy would also be kind of nice. You know what? I'd actually like to go. Ooh, what's this? Oh, that's large. Oh, that's large objects, is it? Oh, okay. This launch up to 3. I mean, I've got as powerful as it is. That's 2. Oh, that's. Wait, that's only 1? Kidding me? Okay. Well, forget this because I like to just be OP with that, frankly. Expert power utilitarian, so achievement I just got. Okay, what I'll do is next time I get like doing one of these missions, get their skill points, I'll spend to get the large object because that's going to seriously pump us up there. Fantastic. Also, I kind of made a decision on this. Where was it? Well, actually, I have to go down contain anyway. Maintenance, actually, that's probably not going to be the worst thing. Research, we'll see. Actually, with some of these, it's probably not the worst thing. Research mod host, that's probably not... Yeah, I could probably do that anyway. Oh, that's... random personal mod. You know what? No. Let's just keep it at that. I want to see what this is.
Welcome back.
Wait. Oh, whoa. What's this coin? Sorry, hold on. Hold the phone. What's this coin? 1? What? Wait, what the hell? Um, uh, um, okay. Right. Whoa, wait. Game, stop being a twat. Game, stop being a twat. God's sake, the camera. The hell? Okay. And this is either a mission or collectible. Hmm. Put a record on. Jukebox token? Oh.
Hey, watch yourself out there.
Ask her about the jukebox token. Okay, oh, okay. Whoa, plenty to do. At least this one's in this room. But yeah, let's finally talk to Dylan. We're putting that off long enough, so.
The resonance emitted from the HRAs is purely antithetical to every variant of the His signal I can arrange. But how did Darling create it?
Why do I get the feeling Hedron might have something to do with it? I get the feeling because I remember Darling mentioned in one of his presentations that Hedron, he'd been either interacting or talking with something or someone called Hedron, or at least learn stuff from Hedron, whether it's an entity or an item or a place or whatever it might be. I wonder. Anyway, let's get these new files. Speech analysis. Analysis of the Hiss threat part 3. If we understand the Hiss to be a force based on vibration and resonance, then perhaps their incantation, which is now the agreed upon term for their vocalizations, is an effort to express that resonance using human vocal cords and speech. Would there be differences if the incantation were recited in a different language? The most common word used is want. Interestingly, every usage of the word is attributed to a you. You want to listen. You want this to be true. You must want these waves to drag you away. Are we the you the Hiss are referring to? Does the Hiss believe humanity, possibly all non-Hiss life, wants to join it? To be consumed by it? Is that its goal? The second most used word is through and time. Is this possibly the Hiss stating that how they arrived here, or an indication, of its age? There is clear intention in the words. Dismissing the incantation as nonsense, as some of my colleagues recommend, is beyond idiotic. Refer to redacted for report. I mean, hey, at least they're gathering research, that's the main thing. Timeline of events. Part 4. To examine the invasion's timeline of events for possible patterns in his behavior. Establishing a timeline is difficult at present because of the lack of reliable communications between bureau sectors and staff. Preliminary models indicate ground zero of the invasion is located within the executive sector. Once it becomes possible to interview surviving personnel, pinpointing the exact location should be feasible. Other outstanding questions that a timeline may help answer. How did the Hiss get past the internal lockdown? How did Hiss resonance advance through space, deliberately or uniformly? Uniformly? I think that's how you say it. What is the ultimate goal? The outside world? A cross-dimensional destination? Refer to redact for more info. Okay, any more things to read? Right, let's go through this. Can't wait to get level 6 clearance, honestly.
It's happening. After all these years, Dylan is here. But am I too late?
How is he? I need to know. He's clearly been affected by the Hiss, but it's different than any other manifestation we've recorded.
Oh yeah?
Maybe what makes you so special is genetic. He was a prime candidate. Or maybe it's Polaris protecting him, something else affecting the situation. I need to run tests. He seems more in control, more present.
Okay.
I want to see him. My brother. Or is he?
Of course. Now, Marshall set up an HRA-warded cage to contain him. It's on the upper floor, up the stairs.
Of course, yeah.
Okay, I need to go.
Jesse, be careful.
You too. Yeah, it just dawned on me, like, I think, oh yeah, that room's not being used for anything, apart from the obvious. Just quickly say that. Oh, astral constructs. Oh, nice. Let's see what we've got. Wait, what? Jukebox tokens? Huh? Okay. Huh. We'll figure all that in a minute. Excuse me. Hello, Dylan.
You are a worm through time. The thunder's home distorts you. Happiness comes, white pearls, but yellow and red in the eye. Through a mirror inverted is made right. Leave your insides by the door. Push the fingers through the surface into the wet. You've always been in there. You want this to be true. We stand around you while you dream. You can almost hear our words, but you forget. Through time, the thunder's home distorts you. Happiness comes, white pearls, but yellow and red.
Interesting.
Through a mirror inverted is made right.
Well, let's see how much information we can get out of him. Or
Push the fingers through the surface into the wet.
coax out of him. Yes, that's a better wording.
We stand around. You are a worm through time.
Shit.
The thunder's home distorts you.
That's Dylan.
White pearls,
Can
but
you
yellow
hear
and
me?
red in the eye. You are
Come on, Dylan. I'm here.
by the door.
I found you.
The surface into the wet. You've always been in there. You want this to be true.
Do you know who I am? You know me. Say it.
You are Dylan Faden's sister.
The
He's
Person?
talking in the third person.
wait, is that
Always a good sign.
okay?
Do you know who you are?
Not Dylan. Trench and Darling made sure of that.
Oh God.
I'm
Okay.
P6. P6. But I'm better now.
Really?
This made me better.
Oh wow.
Push the fingers through the surface into the wet. You've always been the new you. You want this
Can you
to
stop
be
that?
true.
Please. Not exactly the reunion I'd hoped for.
Well, it's a reunion nonetheless.
Feels good to say those words. I want to say them. They sound good. They make me feel good. Don't you want to say them too?
No. Fuck off, no. You need to help me get this thing out of his head. If he is still in there, if there is anything left, you have to help me.
You came in through the hole in you. We let you in. You've always been here. The only true. A copy of a copy of a copy of a copy.
Stop it!
Orange peel.
Shit.
Orange peel?
He can see you. This is not safe.
We found Polaris together with my sister when we were very small, in Ordinary, in the desert, through the door opened up by the slide projector.
Okay.
But she didn't help when Trench took me away. She didn't give me any powers. All the powers are my own powers.
Okay.
She didn't help when they locked me up for years.
She probably couldn't find you, to be honest. Not that that's the greatest excuse, but still.
Time for a pause. We build you till nothing remains. The egg cracks and the truth will emerge out of you. You are home.
Okay.
The Bureau brought the slide projector back here with me. And the Bureau did what the Bureau does.
Tried to control it.
They used it.
Really?
And they found... They opened the door up to the hiss.
Seriously?
That's the only thing I can thank them for.
Oh my God.
There it is. We stopped the Altered World event in Ordinary when we shut down the slide projector. And now the projector's here.
Actually, it kind of makes sense.
Your worm is a tune you can't stop humming in a dream. Baby, baby, baby.
Is that supposed to be a Justin Bieber reference?
So safe. Nothing to worry about. Funny. I welcomed the hiss.
Huh.
I let it in. To get rid of her. The
What?
hiss set me free.
Polaris inside? Okay.
Polaris is using you. The
Really?
Bureau is using you.
Well, that I can kind of believe.
You are a puppet. You can almost hear our words, but you forget.
If we shut off the slide projector, maybe that will stop the hiss.
Your regulations.
Maybe it's not too late for my brother.
You must see the truth for yourself, Jesse. Sister.
Okay.
The horrible truth about the Bureau. The hiss is the better option.
Well, that's
Go to the
debatable.
prime candidate program in the containment sector.
Okay.
I have the keycard to get you there.
Let me guess.
Salvador wanted me to have it.
Yeah, more like doubtful.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
I saw what the hiss did to Salvador.
Exactly.
What it turned him into.
Okay, Dylan. I'll go. I want to see the truth for myself.
I'll go. But only to look for the slide projector. You can help me. We can end this.
You are warm through
I mean, to be fair, I think in all honesty that the, oh, level 6, fantastic. I think what's happened is that, that Salvador, so, because, and, see how much information can glean from all this, so I'm just doing that so in case he wants to start rambling or trying to ramble over top of me, but just so I can try and think coherently. So, Salvador, so obviously Dylan's let the hiss in, which actually makes more sense than not, which I'll explain in a moment, to my best of my understanding, but, so, obviously Salvador's probably gone in to try and either secure or contain in some way Dylan. I mean, he's head of security, actually makes a lot of sense. Dylan being, you know, if he's been corrupted or the Bureau just have to keep him for security reasons, then he'd be considered an equal, if not possibly greater threat than the hiss. So obviously Salvador would be set there to contain or restrain or whatever, right? That actually makes a lot of sense, you know? And they take a team of rangers or whatever, if that makes sense. So one of the things, and I think even with HRAs and all that, as powerful as Dylan is, as powerful as HRA is, I think, because Dylan obviously seems to be quite a powerful person. If he's got the hiss inside of his head, or at least assisting or controlling or symbiotic or whatever it is, they're making really, really powerful. And I seriously doubt that I'm thinking that he's either, converted through injury or just straight up manipulated Salvador, taking over the Rangers and all this sort of stuff. I believe Dylan's corrupted Salvador, which actually makes the most sense, if I'm honest. And then, Salvador would obviously have keys to Bennikov TV, has probably set it free with level 8, level 9, whatever clearance. Probably just completely set the Bennikov TV off, and probably just have a whole bunch of just sequence events in motion, so to speak, inside the Panopticon. So that kind of makes sense. Trying to link those two. Look, when you think about, when you think, oh, are the hiss that bad? I mean, yes, they're bad, but at the same time, with all the apparent shit that Dylan has been put through, and, he says, oh, I'm P6. I mean, that's basically when your mind's being so unbelievably warped, right? Through whether it be manipulation, brainwashing, whatever it might be, right? I mean, you're talking some serious psychological shit. And, frankly, when this other entity, force, presence, whatever you want to call it, right, comes along, if it offers you something new, a way to become better, or to improve yourself, or to set you free, or, you know what I mean, or just a companion for you, so to speak, it's gonna be for someone like Dylan, his situation where he's just like being kept there for security reasons. After he's like, oh, I can't, obviously he's P6, he was going to, he's no longer useful, he's there for security reasons. Kiss comes along as some whatever entity or resistance force or whatever it might be. And it's like, Dylan's like, you know what? They're being nice to me, they're being helpful, they're just having a chat with me. I mean, okay, they're repetitive, they're rhetorical in their wording, but you know what? Not hurting me. They're trying to help me. I'm just trying to think from his perspective here. And it's like, what? Screw these people. Screw the Bureau. These call themselves the Hiss. okay, they may be very echoey and all this, but you know, they're not hurting me. Maybe they make me more powerful, but all I'm saying is I can understand why he would invite them in. You know, it's a change of pace, something different. It's something new, maybe a companion or just another voice they can talk to or relate to, whatever it might be. And I can see why he would do that, you know? I mean, for the rest of us from the other side, it's like, oh, God. But for him, it's like, it's a welcome change. And I can understand why he's done that, you know? I mean, it's not great overall, but what he's gone through, I can't totally blame him. I really can't. You know, it's I mean, when people go through like institutions, I mean, we're talking the old days from asylums and institutions and all this sort of stuff. You know, when people pull like imaginary friends or echoes in their heads or whatever, and the rest of the world thinks like that they're crazy or just they're talking to themselves or whatever it might be. It's just like what they don't realize is what these people have been suffering through. And this voice or this person or entity that they, whether it be imaginary or in the head or whatever it might be, it's their coping method. And as bad as it may look, it's their mind's way of coping and trying to help them. As weird as that can sound and seem, it's more like a coping mechanism, And it can be a detriment, it can also be a help. So, but it's just one of the things it's been done through history in different ways, and I can see the correlation there. Is all I'm saying. So hang on. Is Dylan trying to actually? If Polaris, okay, so so maybe Polaris. So if Dylan did let us in with the hiss, because it's obviously powerful. If that's the case, let me just do it for the controller decides to do something weird. If just because I'm trying to absorb and reflect on what Dylan's been saying, trying to understand. So, and this is assuming what he says is correct. This is just assuming. We've got to take the facts and piece them together, obviously. So, what the apparent thing was at the beginning that Polaris helped us get in or helped us discover it. Unless, of course, it was the fact that Polaris transported us or teleported us here, or at least made the place, or maybe allowed our visual what's the right, but that's I forgot. There's a special way of wording it, but there's visual perception is the best way to put it. It made Polaris switched up our visual perception. And maybe if Dylan did with the help of the hiss, if that's true, he probably did it so he realized, oh, my sister's coming here. Let me see if I can make the building visible to her if Polaris can help her. Let's assume he actually, maybe he did, although he said he didn't realize. So maybe he knew that, Jesse was probably powerful and it's like, okay, let me help her see the building, but she's gonna have to get inside on her own. And obviously he didn't realize, or the hiss didn't realize, or whatever, that Polaris was there inside her. So that's still a piece of the puzzle we need to figure out how that interchanges. I'm just theorizing here, but okay. I just wanted to try and understand what was being spoken there, so right. And I swear that was a Justin Bieber song reference there, so yeah. It's not that I'm a Justin Bieber fan, it's just that when you've seen enough, listen to enough music on the radio, and songs get repeated on the music as much as we all know they do these days, especially when they're popular or top of the charts, you end up just remembering these names and how these songs sound by the lyrics, whether you like to or not. I'm just saying, we all know how that feels. Let's see what other information
I don't know what
glean.
else I'm hoping to find here.
Let's find out.
Dylan. Can we talk?
I'd like to tell you about a dream I had last night.
I'd like to hear
Off
it.
to a good start.
Okay. I'm listening.
I was back in Ordinary before all of this happened.
Oh, okay.
But in the dream, I was alone. It was just me. I
Okay.
was the only child. A girl.
What?
My name was Jesse Dylan Faden.
Okay, I can see how that might
But
be
then the Bureau
work out.
came and caught me, brought me back here, locked me up. Have you ever noticed that our names, Jesse, Dylan, they could be girls' names, boys' names, could be anything.
I mean, that's true, but I don't think that's really the
Don't
point.
you find that weird?
It,
I find that weird.
I mean, it's
Sure.
true, but
The hell was that?
not weird,
Is he
but
trying to mess with me?
I mean, it is true they can be, depending on your spelling and pronunciation, absolutely can be boys and girls names, but I think, you know, when you're saying at the stream about how he's in the eyes, it's like Jesse Dylan Faden actually kind of makes sense. The fact he was there as his only child, as a girl, kind of actually makes sense. I know that makes sound a bit surprising. I might just do some, because you can't hear you have the with the gargled as well, but I understand the gargled going on in the background. But actually kind of makes sense. Because if he thinks, because if our sister got away, he thinks he'll probably be thinking back in his imagination, like, oh yes, I like to imagine I am my sister. I'm in the mind of my sister. She gets away, and you combine the names so that in your mind, in your mind, your imagination, it's pieced to make it look like that could be a possible alternate turn of events, alternate way it could have happened. It's I was the only child because you didn't because I was you and I didn't exist back then. I'm not trying to say that against him. It's just like he's thinking, if I had been you, I would have got away. I would never have been taken back to the bureau. Never would experimented or tested on me or blah 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 blah. I can actually understand that. For someone who's been basically essentially been a victim of all sorts of treatment, and I say that with quotation marks, by the way, treatment, just saying. But it's that sort of it. People can do that when they're going through their special horrible experience. They think, I can imagine myself having been this other person, and I got away because they didn't. They wish they'd never been made the victim or put in that compromising position or whatever it might be. It actually makes a lot of sense. I mean, okay, it sounds a bit twisted the way you say it. Excuse me, the tone in which you can explain these things, but it actually does genuinely make a lot of sense. So yeah, I just thought going to be a detail and explain that for people who might not really think too much into it, but saying there is actually quite a valid reason for him to say it, at least from one way of thinking, from one point of view anyway. Oh, we get more information from him. More dreams, more
Maybe
info?
Dylan's still in there. Maybe there's a way to reach him.
We'll see.
I'd like to talk to my brother, please.
Well, at least he responds. That's good.
Dylan?
Dylan would like to tell you about a dream he had just now.
Oh yes, another
This
one.
Again?
I was going to be the new director of this place.
I think that's pretty obvious.
I helped you get a job here so that we could be together. You were an office assistant. You'd make coffee and deliver the mail, and there was always plenty of work to do. And it stayed that way forever and ever. It was nice. Really nice.
That's debatable.
But here's the strange thing. The dream shifted, and none of it was real anymore. It was a game. We were in a game, and it was a fucking boring game. But you couldn't stop playing.
Wait,
And then
what?
It shifted again. Or maybe it was another dream already. Or maybe I'm just confusing them.
Okay.
But in this other dream, It was more like a musical.
Really?
This is an ordinary song about an ordinary girl from an ordinary town.
Oh, why do I...
It's the ordinary story.
I know that music reference,
She
but I can't...
worked an ordinary job in an ordinary
Oh, what's the
office.
song?
Something.
God, what's the song? Oh!
And that's all I can remember of that dream.
Damn, I know that song
Maybe that's for
reference.
the best.
I genuinely do. I recognize the rhythm that song there. Oh wow. I can actually remember that song. Oh, I recognize the. I know he's using ordinary in that style, but I know there's like that tune. I do actually. I'll tell you what. If you can actually remember which song that's a reference to, please put it down in the comments. I would love to know. And good way to jog my bloody memory. Oh God. To be fair, I think it's one of those, I think it's like an old song from possibly like maybe 80s or something. I'm not 100% sure, but that's just that's where my trail of thought and gut instinct are going to. But weird. He says I have to get a job here. How to become new director, office assistant? Huh. I wonder if he actually did, in some ways, actually indirectly or directly help us. I mean, he's quite powerful, obviously. So, I mean, I know I probably should take what he's saying with like a pinch of salt, but I'm theorizing a what-if scenario, and I mean, look, we have been doing all sorts of tasks, which we'll be doing at all sorts of levels of the bureau, doing jobs for people, assisting at, taking care of objects of power, vaulted items. As probably the director would be near to, and but if he was going to be director, if we've been working for him or with it, whatever it might be, we probably would be helping out around the office, but probably not such a. I suppose from the perspective of Jesse, thinks I like menial, if I got that wording correctly, but just the smaller jobs, just the ones people don't really want to have, I mean, don't get me wrong, they're crucial in their own way. Don't get me wrong. If you do have one of those jobs, I'm not trying to have it go against you. I'm just saying in terms of being say a research assistant to a paper pusher. I mean, unless you really, really love being a paper pusher, you're going to want to be the research assistant. Although, that depends on what you're researching. But that's not the point. But you get what I mean. It's just, I just wonder, if we have to take substance of what he's saying, then that actually makes more sense than not. So, yeah, it's just in a different perspective. Yeah.
Red in the eye, through a mirror, the inverted.
So what else he has to say?
Maybe I can learn more about the hiss from him.
Can we talk?
I just had an interesting dream.
Another one?
Shit.
That's fascinating, but let's talk about the hiss for a change, yeah?
This dream was about the hiss.
Of course it was.
Best I'm gonna get.
In my dream, the hiss had broken free of this prison, this house. I'd set it free. And the president himself was there to welcome us. He was the first one to take the hiss in. Spread the word. At first, many people thought it was horrifying. That he was horrifying. But also, many people who heard his words wanted to welcome the hiss in. And slowly, more and more of them came around, until the whole world was brought together by the hiss. It was wonderful.
Okay. Thanks for sharing that.
For the
Actually,
record, that will never happen.
I mean,
Not as long as I'm alive.
true. I mean, in all fairness, I think if that could be an ultimate goal for the hiss, that's not as far-fetched as what one might believe. Just saying, it isn't. I mean, if they wanted to control, if they wanted to be welcomed, in the US, that actually makes perfect sense. At least in one scenario, anyway. See if anything else, quickly.
Maybe I'm just here to punish myself.
We're here to glean
Any
information if we
dreams
can.
you'd like to share, Dylan?
Oh, great, of course.
I'm glad you asked, sister. This dream, like all dreams now, felt very real.
Oh, yeah?
Like reality. And reality now feels like a dream. Maybe it's all a dream. Maybe it's all real.
Dream where my brother endlessly tells me about his dreams.
I was in a dark place. And there was a dark man there.
Okay.
His name was Mr. Door.
Just a door?
And he told me that there are many worlds, side by side, on top of each other, some inside of others. In one world, there was a writer who wrote a story about a cop.
Okay.
In another world, the cop was real. Door said he himself was in all of them at the same time, endlessly shifting between them. I asked him how I could reach these worlds. I wanted to bring the hiss there,
Oh, yeah?
but he didn't want to help me. He didn't like the idea. What did he know?
I'm not wild about the idea myself.
Is... Correct... Maybe I've got that... Maybe I've never actually played Alan Wake. I'm pretty sure Alan Wake is made by Remedy. I'm pretty sure. Was that thing about a cop... Is that a reference to Alan Wake? I am genuinely curious. If that is... Because if that is actually a reference, that's actually a pretty cool reference. But is that a reference to Alan Wake? Because I've seen a couple of gameplays, but I've never actually played it myself. But, you know, I think it's like a journalist or investigator. I'm honestly not entirely sure, but that rings a bell to me of what gameplay I've seen of Alan Wake. Is that a reference? That'd be really cool if that was. Huh. Yes, I know. I'm gonna go and do that. There's another bureau thingy, board thingy, but let's. Any more things?
Here we go again. Once
Can't be
more
that many
with
more.
feeling.
Let me guess. You want to tell me about your dream?
Yes. Yes. In fact, I'm having a dream right now.
Of course you are.
Oh. That's new.
In this dream, I'm standing in the corner watching Jesse and Dylan talk about this very dream.
Oh yes.
This very dream. He said just now. And repeated it again now. I'm standing there and watching, and that's all I can do. It's as if I'm trapped there. And that's all I have to say about that dream.
Okay, Dylan. That's good.
That's the last
Is
one.
he still in there? Or is this the hiss playing mind games? I don't know.
Okay, cool. Alright. It's just occurred to me, maybe I have the wrong condition, but I'm pretty sure what it was describing there is a possible characteristic of dissociative disorder. I think. I haven't looked up these terms in a few years, but the way he describes it, that term came instantly to mind. That condition came instantaneously to mind. I'm like, oh, I think that's the symptom of dissociative disorder. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. Probably got the wrong one, but if you get my trail of thought, interesting. I mean, it can come off when you've been a victim and gone on to quote unquote testing. Yeah, and whatever. So, okay. Interesting. Information gleaned. But anyway, this is probably on longer than I thought, but that's absolutely fine. We had to get some information done. We got level 6. We're going to have a chat to Harish about this jukebox thing. I don't know what the hell's going on with that. Probably some other altered object of power, or whatever it is. But interact, who the hell knows? We've got level 6. We can go exploring. There's quite a few places. They've got the pill from Dr. Underhill. We can go pretty much anywhere, I think, so far. So yeah, that's pretty awesome. So yeah, plenty to do and explore. So yeah, see you next time.